Well, it's been 8 years since 75-year-old Joan Rosenthal was found dead in her front yard in Tiburon. Her killer has never been found. Only on 5 tonight, KPIX 5 reporter Andria Borba takes a look into the one piece to the puzzle that could crack this case.
It was September 22, 2009, when 75-year-old Joan Rosenthal was found dead in her front yard in Tiburon.
She had an enclosed yard that had a small gate, a lockable gate around the yard itself. She was inside of that. She was discovered by her house cleaner in the morning hours. It's a very unusual crime.
Sergeant Ryan Peterson with the Marin County Sheriff's Office was on the scene that day.
I don't know if that street in Tiburon had ever seen so many police cars and evidence vans.
Only the 4th homicide in Tiburon's history, Joan's death was baffling to everyone. Joan was a grandmother and a library volunteer. There was no sign of robbery or burglary or assault at the scene.
We talk about victimology and people that, have relationships outside the home and travel and, go to scary places at night and different things like that. This lady lived in Tiburon, did not leave Tiburon very often. She volunteered at the library. She was in her 70s. She had a close circle of friends. It is a very odd case.
Sergeants Greg Garrett and Ryan Peterson worked the case together for years.
I think there's 170-something reports on this case.
The dragnet for any information, any scrap about a suspect or possible motive was cast wide.
Pulling data from the cell towers of the town of Tiburon to see any cellular phone that had been used during that day within the radius of that cell tower, or any car that had crossed the Golden Gate Bridge that day.
They chased leads across Texas, Louisiana, and New York, even Guatemala, where Joan's husband, who died months earlier of Alzheimer's, was raised.
And the homicide cases are different than any other kind of cases we do because there's no victim to get up and testify.
FBI behavioral profilers at Quantico got involved with the case, coming up with psychological profiles of the potential killer. There is one piece of evidence at Joan's home on Hillary Drive that hasn't been accounted for. DNA that did not belong to Joan or her family members. Among the search warrants filed to try and match that DNA, none other than Marin County's most notorious felon, Max Wade.
He was a person of interest, I guess, at one point. We did get a DNA sample from him. We did get a DNA sample from several people.
Wade would have been 15 at the time of Joan's death, years before he famously stole Guy Fieri's Lamborghini and shot at a romantic rival. Wade is currently serving 21 years to life for those crimes. This is what Tiburon's police chief said about the suspected connection in 2014.
They found that he had displayed an unusual interest in the Rosenthal case. He'd actually done a number of searches on it on his computer.
Max grew up nearby, but his DNA did not match. In the years after Joan's death, cameras were installed recording license plates in and out of Tiburon. The cameras were already up for discussion in City Council before Joan's death.
I think it's fair to say that it bothers me. I do think about this case probably more than any other case I've worked in my 15 years at the Sheriff's Office. Not just because it's unsolved, just because it was so unusual.
Unfortunately, we don't have a person that we think is responsible for it at this point.
In Tiburon, Andria Borba, KPIX 5.